So far on our different boards, we've messed with 2 of the 3 dimensions. We've dealt with length, we've dealt with width, but what we haven't done yet is with thickness. This machine is called a planer or a thickness planer. It deals with thicknesses, okay? So typically we get the boards here, they're generally thicker than 3/4 of an inch, but whenever we make things, we can make them whatever size we want to, but generally we make them 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, to use this machine, it's very easy. This is a small desktop. This is a portable one, so a lot of contractors might have the same version. The first thing is first, I'm going to have this set right, and it's set exactly at 3/4 of an inch here. The top of the red line, the top of the red bar shows us where we're at, and it's exactly at 3/4 of an inch. I'll go down so you can see. Bring it back up to that big line right there. That is 3/4 of an inch. The way this machine works is that there's a giant rubber roller here that spins. There's a cutter head in the middle, and on the opposite end there's another rubber roller. Okay, what happens is as you're putting the board in here, it grabs the rubber roller, the rubber roller actually pulls it into the blade. Now with this rubber roller still pulling it, this rubber roller over here actually grabs it and pulls it again. Now what do you think might happen if you have a board that's too short to fit between rubber roller, blade, and rubber roller? Let's say your board can't fit between here and here. I'm guessing that, it's going to get stuck and want to throw it back out. So because of that, we do have limitations as to the length of boards that we can put in here. This is just a piece of scrap. But if this was cut off flat down here, I would still never think about putting this in this machine. It's less than 8 inches long. Okay, that's the magic number for this right here, 8 inches. From rubber roller to rubber roller is 8 inches. This board is obviously longer than that. It's ready to go. I'm going to actually plane this down a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch. Now I'm not going to be taking off too much because it's already thinner than 3/4. So I'm going to turn it on. This is a very loud machine. Make sure your dust collection system is on. I don't have it on just for this demo, so it's going to be a little bit more dusty than normal. Now another thing is I'm not going to grab underneath this as I put the board in here. I'm just going to set the board on the table, slide it in. It's going to take it itself and it's going to spit it out itself on this side. If for some reason it doesn't spit on the other side, shut the power off, let it go until it stops and come and get me. So here we go. The board is a nasty one. It was already cut at a significant taper. So what happened was it came through it. This is nice and smooth here, but this piece down here is still rough because it's thinner than what I have it set at. So if I want to thin this entire board up, I would move this 1/4 of a turn. That's something we haven't talked about yet. You want to move things in 1/4 turns, not full turns because it'll be too much. Okay, so 1/4 turns at a time. Turn it back on and push it through here. Now something else that I haven't gone over. Make sure that before you put your board on here that this table is cleaned off, because if you can take a guess, if you have sawdust right here and you set your board on top of it, even though it's sawdust, you're still changing the dimension of the board. Okay, you're basically providing a wedge underneath here and you're making it so that this used to be 3/4, but now you're moving your board up and you're going to make your board actually skinnier than 3/4 when it's done.